Alright, today we're going to talk about the bare minimum amount of information needed to prove that triangles are congruent. So remember, triangles being congruent means that every angle is congruent and every side is congruent. So the first way you can prove it is called SSS, and that is side, side, side. So that means that you have three sides that you know are congruent to three other sides. So this one to this one, this one to this one, this one to this one. So side, 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 side. So those two triangles are congruent. Another way you can prove that two triangles are congruent is side, angle, side. So SAS. So side, angle, side. So look what happens on this one. We know a side's congruent, then it's followed by an angle, and then this is shared by both triangles, so it must be the same for both. So we'll put a congruence mark there. So we have side, angle, side. Notice that matches up down here too. Side, angle, side. So that one angle is in between two sides, just like the A is in between two sides right here. Alright, the next one is called HL, which is hypotenuse leg. This is right triangles only, so hypotenuse leg. So if you look at a right triangle, you might have heard this before. It might be the first time you've heard it. You have two legs of every right triangle. So this is a leg right here, and this is a leg as well. Now you know they're legs because they're touching the right angle. Across from that right angle, you have what we call the hypotenuse, and that is the longest side of a right triangle, and it's like the slanted side right there. So if you have a right triangle like I have here, all you've got to know is that a hypotenuse and a leg are congruent in each of them. For angle, side, angle, so ASA, so angle, side, angle, very similar to side, angle, side. We've got that shared side in between right here, so I'm going to mark it as congruent, but this time my angles are on either side of the shared side. So my angles are in between, or have my side right in between them. So angle, side, angle, angle, side, angle. Make sure that your angles aren't like over here. So pretend like this one didn't exist and that you had one right here. So this one's angle, side, angle. This one over here is angle, angle, side. See how that's a little bit different? You can't skip over this angle and go to that side. You can't say this angle, then that side, and then that angle, because this would have been the closest angle to that side. Alright, next one. Let me get rid of that stuff. Next one is called angle, angle, side. So this one, oops, so angle, angle, side. This one we have the side right on either end here. I see one angle right next to it, and then it doesn't look like I have any more information given, but I really do because these are vertical angles right here. So let me mark those two because I don't know if they're congruent to those or not. So look at what I have. I have an angle, the very next angle, and then a side. An angle, the very next angle, and then a side. So make sure that you've got those in that order that it's saying it. Alright, now we've got some bad examples. So these are ones that are not proving congruent triangles. So on this first one, you might think it's side, angle, side, but look at what order it's coming in. You've got a side. The very next thing to it is a side. You can't go this way because there's nothing told to you that direction. So you've got a side, another side, and then an angle. So SSA is not enough to prove it's congruent. Same thing happened right here, right? So side, side, A. Why are these not congruent? Let's take a look at them. I've got all three of my triangles there. It looks like it should be fine. But let me draw you a picture real quick. The angles are not enough to prove that these are congruent. So I just drew you a small triangle, so a little bit smaller than our original one, but I want to prove to you that, look, it has all identical angles, but it's a completely different size. So just knowing the angles is not enough to prove that those are congruent. So you need to make sure you got a side in there too. So that's AAA, but it's not a right one, so you cannot prove it with that one. Alright, now this one doesn't have a special name. Let's see what they gave me. They gave me a side, the very next angle, and then another side. But over here, they told me a side, the very next side, and then an angle after the side. So this one went side, angle, side. This one went side, side, angle. So those aren't in the same order, so that can't be congruent. Alright, so pause it, do some practice on that worksheet we gave you, and then come back and we'll be doing these down here together.